This video, uploaded by a YouTuber named Exploration Unknown, features an abandoned factory tour. Exploration Unknown, also known as JN, reveals that the massive structure in the video is actually a yacht factory. JN explains that the project was halted due to numerous mysterious deaths, and it's rumored to be built on an ancient First Nations burial site. JN and his companion believed the factory was haunted. Their exploration begins with them hearing banging noises from a dark corner of the factory, prompting them to investigate. As they move through the vast empty space, JN notices a brief flash of light. The factory's size and their bright flashlights make it easy for anyone inside to locate them.
Oh my God, dude.
It's evident from the start that they are not alone, but this doesn't stop them from continuing their exploration. A loud bang from upstairs convinces them that someone is there. Listening carefully, they suspect multiple people might be present. JN then spots a shadowy figure moving behind a column. Although equipped with flashlights, spotting someone dressed in black in a dark room proves challenging. They pass by the figure while heading to the elevator shaft, with the noises from upstairs following them. JN decides to conclude the exploration, expressing uncertainty about the intentions of those inside and a desire to avoid finding out. Suddenly, someone dressed in black or a cloak appears in front of them.
And I do not know what their intentions are, nor do I want to find out what their intentions are. Dude, that come from over here.
What is that?
Holy shit, get out of here! Oh my God, dude!
Fortunately, they manage to exit the factory quickly and safely. They may have interrupted some strange cult-like activities. The scariest part is that the intruders would have known their location throughout the ordeal. The person on the ground floor seemed to be hiding to sneak up on them. There could have been multiple individuals dressed in black, but luckily, JN and his companion escaped unharmed. Baker X Derek, a YouTuber known for his biking content, came across an abandoned house on a hill that he'd always wanted to explore. When he arrived, it was clear the house had been vacant for some time. However, an open entryway suggested recent human activity. As he ventured inside, the size of the house and its beautiful hilltop view became apparent. While exploring the hallway and checking out the bathroom, Derek thought he saw a face staring at him. Though the footage is unclear, there might have been someone in the room. His attention then shifted to the basement, which looked like something out of a horror movie. Hearing a noise that sounded like something being thrown,
Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
Derek hurriedly exited the house, even tripping on his way out. Reviewing the footage later, he noticed blinds covering the basement windows. Often, squatters create noise to warn off explorers and other unwanted visitors to prevent potential violence. Derek wisely heeded the warning and left before things could escalate. Derek later returned to the house, finding it heavily boarded up and completely vandalized. Graffiti covered the walls, windows were smashed, and the place was thoroughly destroyed. There was no way to enter, but the extensive damage was evident. It's unfortunate that the house was ruined, but it's fortunate that Derek safely escaped during his initial visit. Christopher Brian Hill is an urban explorer with a YouTube channel called Herc Hill. Over the past decade, he's been posting raw footage of his visits to some of the creepiest abandoned buildings in the country, often encountering unexpected and sometimes life-threatening situations. Urban explorers like Chris face many dangers, from aggressive stray dogs to hostile squatters, respiratory risks, and unstable structures. Exploring an unfamiliar abandoned building is much riskier than it might seem. It's much safer to explore these buildings in the daylight and with a group of friends, but in most of his videos, Chris explores at night and always alone. In June 2022, he visited the abandoned Westinghouse Electric Factory in Cleveland, Ohio. Built over a century ago, the factory originally consisted of 7 buildings, but most have been demolished. Although the Westinghouse Company was established in 1886, it didn't reach Cleveland until 1894. Founded by Thomas Edison, Westinghouse is renowned for the notable engineers who worked for the company, including Nikola Tesla and William Stanley. For several decades, Westinghouse rivaled General Electric, and it was last used as a lighting equipment production plant before being abandoned in 1979. For the past 45 years, the abandoned factory has been a popular spot for urban explorers and YouTubers. In 2012, the factory gained even more attention after the Black Widow interrogation scene from the first Avengers movie was filmed there. 10 years later, Chris visited the factory and recorded everything he saw. As Chris begins exploring, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and only the sound of crickets can be heard in the darkness. Less than 5 minutes into the recording, the sound of gunshots can be heard in the distance. Cleveland has been ranked as one of the top 10 most dangerous cities in the US for the past few years, making this visit even riskier.
Oh, that sounds like a shootout.
Chris has experience exploring everything from abandoned mental hospitals and sanatoriums to vacant occult temples, and he shrugs off the fear as he enters the creepy building. Just like in many abandoned buildings, Chris finds a mattress on the floor, indicating that at least one person has been sleeping there recently. As he captures footage of the first floor and walks up the stairs to the second floor, the eerie darkness is only punctuated by the sound of his footsteps. A few minutes later, Chris goes down to the basement and the footage becomes increasingly creepier as he encounters a series of dead ends under the leaky, moldy ceiling.
Okay, I'm hearing something. Maybe it's an animal. There's animals down here.
At several points during his exploration of the basement, he comments on a strange noise coming from somewhere on that floor, initially thinking it might be an animal. Alarmingly, he finds a few shell casings on the ground, likely from a 9mm handgun. While unsettling, it's worth noting that police departments often use abandoned buildings for training exercises. However, it's impossible to know if that's the case here. Shortly after, he comes across a series of disturbing messages on the walls. As he walks down narrow corridors, the situation becomes increasingly unsettling.
This place is so wet. Oh, you scared the out of me. Yo. You need some help, bro? Yo. Responding, I'm gonna leave him alone. Get the out of his way. Bro, that's crazy.
After about 20 minutes of exploring, Chris encounters a hunched-over man without a light at the far end of a room. He calls out to ask if the man needs help, but receives no response and decides to leave him alone. Understandably, Chris's breathing becomes louder and heavier after the unsettling encounter, but things were only about to get more disturbing.
You know what? I'm gonna help that dude out. I'm gonna give this dude a $20 bill. Yo. Hey, I got some money for you. He's not there, and he's not responding.
A few minutes later, Chris decides to go back to offer the man a $20 bill, but when he returns, the man is no longer there. This could be incredibly dangerous, as squatters often react aggressively towards intruders. Knowing the area better than anyone else, they can easily hide and launch surprise attacks. One theory is that the man might have been a gang member hiding from the shootout heard at the beginning of the video. However, given his strange behavior, this seems unlikely. As he continues searching, Chris notices bats flying around the basement, adding to the eerie atmosphere.
There's a lot of bats down here, too.
When he walks into one of the rooms, if you look closely at the far left of the screen, the man from earlier can be seen standing in a doorframe staring at Chris in the darkness. Alarmingly, Chris doesn't notice and continues walking. It's impossible to know how long the man had been following him. A few minutes later, the squatter is seen walking outside as cars pass by the building. At one point, Chris mentions he thinks the guy said hello, but it's unclear on the camera audio. Just as he decides to leave, he hears a cell phone vibrate, indicating there are more people hiding in the darkness. Having had enough disturbing encounters for the night, Chris decides to play it safe and fortunately leaves the building unharmed. He never found out who that man was, and since then, he hasn't uploaded another video of the Westinghouse factory. This video, presented by the thrill-seeking group Urban Explorers, delves into a decrepit urban area in Mooresville, Missouri, infamous for its chilling past. It was once the hunting ground of a notorious serial killer who targeted his own employees, creating a spine-tingling and ominous aura. As the explorers make their way through the site, they notice a door eerily swinging open on its own. Moments later, the sound of footsteps from upstairs sends chills down their spines, filling them with dread. While climbing an old water tower, rocks suddenly start being thrown at the explorers. They're left puzzled and anxious, wondering who or what could be watching them.
What the dude? Are you throwing at me?
I'm not throwing a thing.
You swear?
I swear to God, I'm not throwing a thing.
Especially since they are the only ones known to be at the location. In the shadows, they hear a loud voice.
A bang.
Is it the ghost of the killer or just someone else hiding out? They stay alert, thinking every sound or shadow could be hiding a secret. Feeling nervous and curious, the explorers decide to leave. The place leaves them with many unanswered questions and a strong feeling of its creepy history. They wonder if the strange things happening were caused by a squatter or the ghost of a victim of the serial killer.